Even though I don't think Barnaby Joyce is a winner for either party, any party, Liberals, Nationals, or One Nation. I don't know whether many of you do follow Cos Samaras, but Cos is a person who runs a number of polls, and some of those polls are pretty damn accurate. And if the poll is leading towards the Liberal Party or the coalition, Sky News celebrate him. If they're showing something a little bit different, they decry him. But in this particular poll, I don't know where they stand, because this is a poll which I'm about to show you by Cos, where if the Liberal Party saw this poll, they would be scared to death, because it does mean, to some extent, the demise of the Liberal Party. So I'll show you what he says, and this is on X. Anybody can access it to verify what I'm about to show you. But if he says on X, this graph should terrify anyone inside the Liberal Party, the potential for Barnaby Joyce to accelerate defections from the Liberals to One Nation is enormous, says Cos. According to Resolve, 39% of all coalition voters say they'd be more likely to vote One Nation if Joyce were leading them. I don't know what in the hell they're talking about, but nevertheless, that's the Liberal Party for you and the Liberal Party voters. We are now staring at the very real prospect of the coalition following the same long-term election decline as their sister party in the UK. There's also no point in the Liberal Party trying to outflank One Nation on the right. When given the choice, these voters will always go for the real thing over the imitation, especially when the imitation is the parties that spent a lifetime disappointing them. Changing leaders may not help either. You need a good jockey, but if the horse is old, it's old. Just after August 31st, we warned that the immigration debate would end up damaging the Conservative side of politics. Most animating the debate assumed it would hurt Labor. Instead, they are now getting a live lesson in political psychology. Now, the question that they've asked people on this particular poll is, do you think Barnaby Joyce is going to make a difference if he goes to One Nation? Now, the poll tells us more likely was 29%. No difference was 52%. This is voters generally, I think. And amongst coalition voters, it was 39% believed that there'd be like to make a difference. 50% said there'd be no difference, and 11% said it is less likely. So there's 61% of voters there suggest that he's not going to really make any difference whatsoever. Amongst One Nation voters, 59% said, what did they say? That he would be more likely to make a difference. 43% no, and 8% that's likely. 43% said no difference, that's right, and 43%. So what does all of this mean? Well, I guess at the end of the day, what it tells us is that he's not likely to make all that much difference at all, whether you're a One Nation voter or a Liberal voter or the just general population. So the question still needs to be asked. Why is it did he make the jump, and why is it that Pauline Hanson asked him to? Now, I guess one also has to ask the question, well, if he stayed within the Liberal Party, or the National Party, would he have been able to make a difference there? And the answer to that is clearly no. He was a waste of space within the National Party, and he was relegated to the back bench, where he was probably likely to spend the rest of his career. So he now has an opportunity, though, to make a difference to some extent with One Nation. But the overall polling tells us that he's not going to make any difference at all. And it's kind of what I've been saying all along. But it is worth noting that, that as Cossie says, there's also no point in the Liberal Party trying to outflank One Nation on the right. There's no point in them doing that at all. Given the choice, these voters will always go for the real thing over the imitation, And the real thing is not actually Barnaby Joyce, especially when the imitation is the parties that spent a lifetime disappointing them, which is what the Liberal Party have done. So changing leaders may not help anybody, and that in the reality is that the Liberal Party are old, they're outdated, they're outmoded, they don't have any real policies, they don't have anything substantive to be able to sell the Australian population, and as a result of all of that, they are likely to be relegated to the dung heap after all of this. And I think it's sad personally because I've always advocated that we need to have strong opposition in order to keep the others accountable, as Don Chipp said, to keep the bastards accountable. That's what we need, but we haven't got it with the Liberal Party. So it's falling apart. One Nation and the Liberals and the Coalition in particular, those people do not support. But I don't not support Barnaby Joyce. But doesn't mean that there will be some Liberals who will see this as an opportunity to leave their own party, to become part of One Nation, because to some extent they feel or believe that they have an allegiance on that side of politics than with the Liberal Party and the National Party, who are more moderate. Let's wait and see what happens. Remember to subscribe to my channel, ring the bell for further notifications. Let me know what you think about all these political issues. In the meantime, everybody, please take care.